Hello, this is John, the Advanced Fisherman. I'm going to work on another reel here. Trying to bide my time till it's time to get out and fish. This is a Garcia Ambassadeur Pro Plus. Ultracast design, Magtrax control. It's an older reel. It says assembled in USA, and it's from it says 89-0, so I think that's 6 of 89 maybe, and then it's got 91 through 92 on there, so it may be either one, either or whatever. Because Garcia throws me for a loop every time I try it. I think I got their dating system and their numbering systems right. I'm wrong. So I've had this reel probably since brand new. I don't fish it very much. It rode my bass boat for a long time, but that doesn't mean I fished it. It's a lefty, so I got to go the other way with that. We'll take the handle off. I use one of these little eyeglass screwdrivers. I put a little bend in it, and it helps get the get these clips out without having to do mega force to pop them, and then they go flying on you. So you want to keep those things. I will probably replace this handle. I've got some nicer handles than that. And there's your little handle washer, which looks like it was in upside down. All right, and your drag backs off the opposite way because it's a lefty. And I want to upgrade whatever bearings I can in this reel. Let's see what's underneath here. Shims. There's shims with a lot of grease. Good day. Okay. We'll clean all that up. There is a clip on there. We'll take that out. It's a small clip, so don't lose this. You may have a hard time finding it. It's smaller. You see how much smaller it is than the other one. And there is a wavy washer under here that keeps tension on that shaft where you adjust the spool side play. Let's take this side off. I think I'm correct in doing that. It has some little nuts on there that have a screwdriver slot in them. They're not a hex nut. So you got 3 of those, and you got 1 regular screw there. I just back them out till I know that they're loose. You'll hear them pop on the threads. See there? You know it's loose then. And go ahead and take this guy off. This is the magnetic control side. We'll see what's underneath, what kind of surprises are underneath here. I've never had this real part. It's pretty sad because I've owned it for a long time. Alright, something's got it held on there. Give them another turn or two. Make sure they're all loose. They seem to all be loose. I don't know what's holding it. Okay. Alright. Those little nuts are going to fall out on you. Keep them. Don't let them get away from you. There's 3 of those. This side of the reel, there's only 3 magnets in there. I'm going to clean this up with a Q-tip and just kind of spray the whole cover down. I'm not going to douse this thing in a machine and clean it. I think we can get it pretty clean just with the Q-tip. It's only got 3 magnets, and one of them's got a sticker peeling off of it, and that's not good because that's going to cause it to hang up on the spool. So let's just make sure the mag control is working. It is. I'm going to spray this whole cap down, inside and out. And that's all I'm going to do to that. I'll clean it up just like that. I'm going to let it sit there for just a little bit. And your spool comes on out. And it does have bearings. I don't know that I've got those bearings in stock. If not, I'll order some, and we'll put this one on the side burner for a little bit. But you take that keeper off, and then this star wheel comes off of here. And then on this side, it looks like these just kind of, this thing just kind of pops in there. It does. It's got a bushing on one side and a bearing on the other. Go figure. There's the bushing. Definitely going to replace that. There's no washers under it. And then the bearing does have a washer under it. So we'll set the spool aside. We'll clean that up. I might not have those bearings. We'll see. I may just clean those really good and replace the bushing, because there's no point in having a bushing in there when I've got bearings sitting over there that will fit. Okay, so we got that apart. Let's take the gear side off. I don't think that screw has to come out. Just leave that one alone. Let's do this one right. In my past experiences with this style Ambassador, you don't have to take that screw out. I think that's holding a pawl or something in there, and I think you'll just cause yourself more problems to take that out of there. This is actually my son's reel now. I gave it to him. I thought I would just clean it up, do a video on it. Let's see. Yep, that one's got to come off. So let's take it out. I sure hope I'm right about that. Hold on. Let's take this one out. There was a third screw up here that I did not see. That one can stay for now. Hopefully I didn't get anything out of alignment in there. Yeah, it's just like the one that was on the other side. Yeah, that one's got to come out too, I guess. All right. So you got 2, 3 screws, 4 screws in there. Yeah, they had to come out. Okay, this is pretty gunky, not gonna lie. Look at all that. That's the original Garcia grease. That's nothing I've ever done to it. So that's just a plastic cover. This just slides off. We'll clean that separate. The shaft can go on out the back side. We'll clean that. There's a big, huge spacer in there. I think I got a bearing that can go in place of that. You got 2 of the concave convex washers that go against each other. That spring, I don't think it has to come off of there. All right, now pay attention here. You got your gear has another gear stuck to the bottom of it, like that. It's got 2 little cogs that go up in those holes. You got your drag pops off, and there's only 1 drag washer. I do have these in stock, I think. Take that off of there. You don't, like on the other Ambassadors, you can't take this shaft off. You can take a dog off if you want to, but you can't take this shaft off without, that dog is just completely, ain't no wonder this reel ran slow, folks. That's horrible. Look at all the gunk on there. But you can't pull this shaft off without removing the level line. So let's take this little guy loose. Goodness gracious, what's going on the backside there? All right, put that right there. Actually, let's keep all the level line parts over here on the mountain on this side. I got to get something better to work with here. Okay, this one's got, how's that work? I want to say to remove the dog, you gotta, no, that don't work like that. It's not with those pliers, it ain't. No. Okay, it does come off of there. So your paw is up underneath this thing right here, and I got to get that unclipped. It didn't act like it wanted to come off. So is this reel not serviceable? It's kind of odd if it isn't. No, it comes apart. It's just gonna be stubborn. Yeah, it comes apart. Let's see if I can get it out far enough to get this. Nope, ain't gonna work. Okay, let's do this. Let's circle it around, that way we can get a better look at how that comes off of there. Looks like it's got a little, it clips in there, but boy, I tell you what, it don't look like a lot of fun, does it? All right, got it started. Let's see if I can get enough force on it to pop it. Oh, golly. It's a one-time deal, folks. It's made to go on there and not come off. So we're gonna have to fight it a little bit. Get that side up and maybe be able to get to this side right here. I think it's gonna go together a lot easier than it's coming apart. That didn't sound great, did it? I may be buying my son another reel. Oh, come on. It's almost coming off of there. I feel like it's going to break. So it doesn't have a level, it doesn't have a cap, so to speak, on the level line. It's got a clip-on type thing, kind of like the other reels do, but man, it's definitely going to be a pain to get off of there. I feel like it's just going to fly apart and break. That's what I'm afraid of. I went from one difficult reel this morning to another. I just can't seem to pick an easy one to do here lately. It seems like every reel I'm into is it's got a major problem with it, and I'm fighting it. I wonder if this piece will come out. That would make life a lot easier. Doesn't come out. Yep, I get myself in some real pickles, don't I? I have a feeling the same. When it comes out, it's going to go flying. And I'm going to say, where did all the parts go? Yep. Well, I can't really clean it right with it still in there. It's a one-time deal, folks. If I could get it out of there, I would, but I can't. And I don't think I can do it without it breaking anyway. See how it pops? If I could get this out of the way, I could get it out of there, but that doesn't move. And it's not going to help me to get that out of the way. Yeah, it's, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, really. The grease in this reel is really old, and it's stopping the reel up, and I can get that to a balancing act there, and then it pops right back in place. I really need to get that to, and I can't get my pliers down in there, so it doesn't matter. See, it just goes right back into place, and I can't get enough. I'm afraid I'm gonna break it, is what I'm saying. If I try to pull this way, it's gonna snap. I can get that pried up and get it unclipped, but then I can't get the other side, you know. So it's just it's a conundrum. Got half of it, and it'll pop right back into place on me is the problem. Yeah. Don't understand that at all. Can't do anything with it either. It's just what it is. All right, got that off. So there's a shim underneath that shaft. I got this out far enough to where I could work that out of there. I'm not happy about that. Not happy about that at all, folks. But it doesn't look like it's just going to come apart. And I don't have any way to clean that, really. I mean, I could put this whole thing in a parts washer and get it somewhat clean. It's pretty nasty. It's got old line gunked up on it. It may just have to go into the parts washer and get cleaned up, just like it is. I'm afraid I'm going to break it, and there's no way I'll get those parts again. But if I could get this off of there, it would be fairly easy to get back together. It just snaps down on there. But if you break one of those tips trying to get it out, the reel is useless, and I don't want to make it useless. So yeah, I don't know really which way to go with this reel. I'll just try to get some of the gunk out of it and put it in the parts washer and pray for the best. We can take that pinion gear off, and I can clean that separate. But yeah, I don't recommend trying to pop that pin out there. It's just not going to go. You know, the clips. There's a clip on each side of that level line guide, and then the pawl is down inside there, and you got to get the pawl out. You got to unclip this thing. Well, you see, I can't even rotate it out of there to get the pawl out of it. If I could get this piece out of the reel, I could probably get it apart very easily, but there's no room to work down in there. So it's a shame. I'd love to get it cleaned up good. It's not going to happen. It's also I'm probably going to lose some of that writing on there, and that's not good either. I like to clean things up in the WD-40 tank, but it's never going to get that worm gear clean. And yeah, this reel, I'm probably going to just buy my son another reel, because this reel's is done. Unfortunately, it's never going to be completely clean. Not clean enough for me, you know. Other people may be just fine, but not clean enough for me. See, I can get that to pop down. I can get it to right there, but I can't get this screwdriver in. Well, I might get it right there. Just nothing to look at, really. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did I just get it? Yep. Looky there. There it is, and I didn't break it. Whew. Patience paid off. Just had to keep trying. All right, so the pawl comes out of there. Well, maybe. Let's try to get a hold of my tweezer pliers here. Okay, there's the pawl. Then this can slide out. And then the tube can slide out. And the level line guy can slide out. Now I can clean this reel. Goodness gracious, folks. That was quite the effort, wasn't it? To take a reel apart. That's different. Now I don't have to put this in the parts washer. I can scrub it by hand. This is already scrubbing, basically. Just got to wipe it down. I won't have to do anything to this side. Wow. That's all I got to say is wow, you know. We'll clean all these little parts up. Try to find a drag washer for it. I'm only going to replace the big washer. I'm not going to replace the small washer. I found the factory washers that come down here to I guess, yeah, it's a washer. They are thin, and if you try the Carbon Tex down there, it changes the way the gears line up with each other, and it will, the reel just doesn't, it doesn't look to me like it would be very strong. You know, this gear here doesn't mesh with the gear on the level line very well, and that just looks like trouble to me. So I don't replace that one. I just replace the bigger washer on the outside of the gear. Just wiping some things down. I think that will pop out of there. It does. Wow, this thing's just nasty. Just nasty. I'm not really sure how this reel was even spinning. All right. Well, there it is, folks. I'm being a little silent here because I'm just reflecting back on this tear down of this reel. Gonna clean it up, make my son a nice little reel out of it. I'm glad I did not have to destroy it to get it apart. And I'll be back to put it back together for you. I think it's gonna be okay. Okay, I'm back. Gonna put this mess back together here. The teardown was a bit of a pain, if you remember, because I had this this level line gave me a fit. So that's the first thing I get to fight with, is put the level line back in it. But it cleaned up nice. And I did something on this reel I'm gonna try, because it's not the most expensive reel, but I sprayed this whole mechanism here down with Ballistol, which is a really good lubricant protectant. I've been using this stuff on my firearms since I was a kid, probably 10 years old, and it dries up, but it's still slick, and it also impregnates the metal, so it'll make it slick forever. It's eco-friendly, skin safe, no carcinogens. I like this stuff. Like I said, I've been using it since I was a kid. So I'm going to put it back together with that on there, maybe a little dab of oil here and there. We got to put the level line back in it, so let's start out with that piece of fun. It goes together like this, and then the actual level line will go in here. I'm telling you, it's tight. I fought this thing the whole time. It's such a narrow frame, and just very difficult to... You got to get this, that there's a little tab at the top of that level line guide, the line guide, that has to go up into this cover. So that's the first thing you need to do, is to get that in there. And then this piece here, you can go ahead. I think I can get everything together with the clip in there. Let's see if I can find that clip. I believe it's going to be this guy right here. And we'll put our new tweezer pliers on it. Okay. Oh. And see, I'm doing it again. I got ahead of myself. Lord have mercy. Y'all are all sitting there hollering at the screen saying, John, the other post has got to go on it first. Yep, you're right, it does. Let me show you how that works. So this is going to have to slide out as far as I can. There is a washer that goes on this shaft. We're going to oil the shaft. No grease on that shaft now. And then we're going to slide this in, and it's got to clear that gear. So that gear's got to come out a pretty good ways, actually. Maybe all the way out. Okay, so that goes in there. And then we can put that in there and put the snap ring on, okay? Everybody follow that. It's a bit of a pain. Okay, so we'll make sure we got that in there good. Now we're going to put the pawl back in it. All right, the level line pawl, and it's still got some junk on. I fought that thing trying to clean it. It's so small, couldn't hardly hold it with my fingers to clean it. Let's get that little bit off of there. It goes in there. Put a little bit of pressure on it. It'll find its way home. We'll slide it over to one side, or spin it over to one side. Then this guy here, This is what fought me so hard. It actually slides down on there and clips on both sides of that level line guide. Like that. Okay? And then you can oil. All that fighting I did, and that's how easy, when I told you it was going to go back together a lot easier and it came apart. So we got that done. It's working back and forth. See it? Isn't that special? Alright. It's nice when it all works out like that. Let's see what I need here. I'm going to go back with this washer. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of cowls on just for the fun of it. You know, I can't leave nothing alone, so I'm going to have to modify this reel. You know, why not? But I'm going to leave that washer alone, and I'll tell you why. Let me explain myself. The relationship of this gear to this gear, which is going to ride on there, is very important. If this washer is too thick, it's going to space that gear out further, and it reduces the tooth contact, and it's going to make for a weak tooth contact there, and you're going to have a broken reel. So I went back with what the factory put on there. And before I get too far ahead of myself, I've got to put this back together. Let's put the pinion gear in it. Because once I get the main gear in there, the pinion gear is not going to go back on. I didn't have to take a whole lot of stuff off of this gearbox side. We'll snap that back together. Actually, it just sits in there. And goes on this shaft. I thought there would be a, okay, there's the jack plate back there. So I want to add a little bit of grease right there because that's the actual jack. And then on these two guides, we're going to put some oil. Okay. All right, moving right along here. The anti-reverse dog pawl goes in right here. And you're going to have to work it back onto that cog. You could put all this together, but you know, it's easier if I just do it wrong to begin with, you know. But it's how I do things, the backwards way. There you go. And to see if it works, just put your finger where that anti-reverse, to mimic the cover on the reel. Put your finger right there and see how it won't let it pop up too far. The cover keeps it in place. See how that all works? Okay, that's right. Now, this thing here, I noticed it was kind of flip-flopping all over the place. I'm not sure why. This reel doesn't have a flipping switch or anything crazy like that, so not sure why it's allowed it. Because if it comes over here, well, I guess it'll be all right. Let's not overthink it. Okay, got that together. Now this gear here rides on the bottom of the main gear. Let's go ahead and put that on there. Rides on there like that. I'm gonna go ahead and grease up the main gear. I'll hit it in a couple places and then use my fingers to work it in. That's what I've been doing. You ain't got to go real heavy here, folks. Just a little bit will do. Okay, just like that. Now, drag washer. I got this big guy here. I don't know if I've got an aftermarket. Yeah, I might. You know, this reel here probably not a wise thing to put a Carbon Tex on. It's not a real heavy duty reel. I think this is the right, yeah, that's the right one. Well, why not? We'll do it. I can't leave nothing alone. Let's make too heavy of a drag on too light of a reel. All right, because put some cowls on that. Keep it as smooth as you can. Slide it in there. And I'm done with the cowls. Get the press plate goes on there. Let's get some of that oil off of that. Go on. Then it had the two concave convex washers. They go opposing each other. They create like a coil spring kind of looking thing. See how they got a gap? They touch at one end, got a gap in the middle. That's a cool, like but what it does is give you a little extra adjustment on the drag. Now this one has spacer in it, and oh, I see how this thing works now. So that little thing I was worried about flipping around, it actually goes, and then this spring goes down on there. Yeah, so it actually goes, that little peg on top of that goes into that little slot right there. The spring rides up under that, and it's kind of out of place there. Let me help that spring find its home again. There we go. There. That's where it goes, but I'm gonna tell you what right now, it's gonna be hard as heck to get it to stay there, but we're gonna try. I might have a plan. Let's put the shaft in there. And then the shaft got this wavy washer here and a clip. And there again, I'm gonna have to, hopefully I don't lose this thing. I don't have these clips extra. I'm gonna get that part number and order some. And that might actually, that's gonna hold it all together. Look at that. Look at that. We about got this thing. My last modification is going to be about this bearing, but I'm not too sure how that's going to work out. I've got some bearings here, as you know. Let's see if it'll fit. Yeah, it fits in there. Well, let's do something here. I don't need that anymore. It'll just get spilt. Let's do some measuring. So I've got this spacer, which is 6.3 millimeters. 6.35. Might as well say 6.4. And this is 3.9. Okay, a little more than half that. Let's see what I've got for spacers here that might get the job done. So I said 6.4. That only gets me to 490. 587. And what's going to happen if I go to the next, another one of those thick washers, it's going to be wrong. So let's get one of the four. I got a 0.4 millimeter spacer here. We'll try that. So we got to stack this whole thing together and measure it just like this. 6.38. 6.5 was what we had starting out. We're dead on it. That's as good as you can get. Okay. So those new shims I just bought just worked a miracle for me. All right. We'll put a washer and a shim. And then we're going to put the top on it. Just like that, okay? Let's put those screws in. We got a small screw that goes here at the back. We got two machine screws. That's a small machine screw. This is a machine screw. This is a machine screw. Let's get those in there. I'm going to put just a dab of oil because I did not put grease and I'm not taking them back out. They'll be all right. Okay. Get those screws started. This is a very lightweight reel, lighter than the other Ambassadors. They're all metal. They're pretty heavy, but it's not a heavy duty reel. You're not going to wrestle around a very big fish with this. I wouldn't go much higher than about maybe a 6 or 8 pound bass, and that might be pushing it, folks. All right, and then you got a screw, very coarse thread screw that goes up in here into the front. Am I leaving any parts out this time? It just feels like I am, because I usually do. I've had a real rough time here lately putting these things together. We'll put that in there. All right, now we're going to put the new bearing in there. I'm going to actually go ahead and lube this bearing. I've been told not to, but for this reel, whatever. That slides on there and goes down into that cover. And then we got a shim to go in, our washer to go in there. Okay, and then we've got, we'll put some grease on the shaft. We've got our star drag. Remember, it's the left hand reel, so it's going to do reverse rotation. That's not supposed to make that clicking sound. It's not supposed to do that. So let's see what I've done wrong. Maybe it was just halfway in between. Maybe it was just halfway in between where it was supposed to be. Let's see. Now, I had such an easy time getting it on there the last time that it's going to fight me this time, you know. Anyway, it was a beautiful day here in Virginia, and I had to work on cars all day. I did not get out to go fishing. Drawback of being a mechanic, it seems like you're always... Yeah. You know, it wouldn't be one of my videos unless I didn't get to take the thing apart about 5 times. So something's not making proper contact in here. Not sure what it could be. We're going to find out though. Yeah, it sounds like it's this anti-reverse dog, but it's working like it's supposed to. Oh, didn't want to do that. It's something to do with this anti-reverse dog here. I don't know why, but it may be. It may need squeezing down just a little bit. Sometimes they do this. You got to give them just a little extra help. And then I'll have to fight it to get it back on there without taking the whole reel apart. That's okay. So what I did, I took the little ears on the anti-reverse dog and I squeezed them down a little bit, and I'm going to slide it back on the shaft. And I think what that's going to do is it's going to all right, let's try it. We got nothing to lose. I think these cheaper reels are a big pain in the butt to work on sometimes. They'll fight you all the way. But then again, it seems like they all fight here lately. Okay, we got the cover tightened down. Let's go ahead and get it to where I want to run it at. That's what it was. Absolutely. Okay. It was the ears were bent in too far on the anti-reverse dog, so we're good there. It happens. I probably, when I took it apart, let them get bent a little bit or something, or when I was cleaning it, I might have bent them. Who knows? Okay. Look at that. Smooth as glass. All right. let's put this cap on there. This cap had a bunch of these washers in it. Not sure why, but that's what's going back in it. We're going to give them all a little bit of oil between them so they don't get corroded. There was 4 of them in here. Seems excessive, just saying. Okay, we'll put that cap on there. I think that's where part of the problem is with this reel. I'm not gonna lie, that shouldn't be that many of those in there. I'm not sure why. I'm taking 2 of them. I've never seen more than 2, so I'm taking 2 out. If y'all know why there was 4 of them in there, leave something in the comments. It's tightening down too far on the shaft. That's not good. Let's loosen it up a little bit. There we go. All right. Let's put the spool together. So we got some spare parts. It's always a good thing, right? Remember it had a bushing on this side over here. Well, guess what? I'm not putting a bushing back in it. I don't think those are 10 millimeter. Those are probably... I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some good used bearings in it. I'm not putting that daggone bushing back in, I can tell you that. Anyway, I got a whole body. These are all upgrade parts to the Ambassadors. Then I've got... These are used bearings, but I guarantee you a couple of them are like brand new in here. I believe these are the right size. Yep. Alright, so I'll put one of those in it, and I'll put that bushing in here in case I need it for another reel. Okay. Ambassador parts. Alright. Let's do it. Yeah, here's your I'll put some oil in there. That was really the wrong oil, but and it got this little thing here just kind of clipped in there like that. Okay, and then on this side you got the wavy washer that went in, little brass copper wavy washer. Then the other bearing go in. Then it got this cog looking thing. It went on there, and then you want to put your snap ring on opposite, with the gap opposite of those two. And that's it. That goes back on there. Okay. We're getting down to the nitty gritty on this. This has already been lubricated. Well, that's slick as a ribbon right now. I like that. We'll put some grease on those 3 posts. Put your side cover on. Put Put your nuts in there. It's a nut, but it's got a groove in it for a screwdriver. I think I went over that when I took it apart. Snug them down. And you got a screw up here. Now, I haven't decided what to do about the handle on this thing. I don't like the handle that came on it. It's kind of cheap, cheesy. Of course, the reel is kind of cheap, but I mean, I could put one of these handles on it. It looks a little better, right? It's a lot wider. Oh, it seems wider. Maybe it isn't. No, it just seems wider. Same distance. Well, I don't see any reason why we can't run that. Let's put the handle washer on there. Handle. It's probably going to take a different cap. Let's go ahead and put the clip on there. Nope, that's the right cap. I gotta put the, well, maybe. We'll see. Let's put the handle nut on there. And it takes a 10mm socket. Yep, that's the right one. Okay. Let's tighten that drag down and work it in good. It's slipping, so it's not too much drag for it. I mean, I probably don't have, I probably got 10 pounds of drag. That's decent for this reel. Let's back it back off. Now we got to see it in good. Maybe it'll spin a little better. It's very quiet. Anti-reverse is working. It's coming out of free spool. Can't tell how much how much better it's gonna cast yet, but yeah. Anyway, there it is. I can't leave nothing alone, so it's been upgraded. Ready for line, ready to fish. I wonder how well it's going to cast, but we'll see. No idea what the gear ratio is on this. Oh, 5.1 to 1. I'd use it for a spinnerbait. I don't like my spinnerbaits blistering back to the boat. But I think I've used this reel in bass tournaments, but it was a long time ago, and I can't swear to it. I don't remember any fish caught on it that were anything special, and I think I gave it to my son, you know, at some point. So anyway, oh, well, let me put it right there so everybody can see it. I upgraded the handle bearing from a plastic bushing to an actual bearing, an ABEC 7. I got some ABEC 3s in the spool. Probably just fine for this reel, and probably wasted a good ABEC 7 in the handle, but it's kind of cool. There's no play in the handle. I don't know if you can, there's just no play in it. It feels really good. And I got everything lubed up good. Everything's sliding good, spinning good. Lube up those handle paddles. It'll catch a fish if you know what you're doing with it. All right, there it is. Well, if you liked the video, like it. And if you enjoyed the content, subscribe so you'll know about more. This is John, the Vintage Fisherman. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.